So we're out and about campaigning in Wangara today, and one of the incredible things I love about getting out and about is chatting to our business owners. Dee's Cafe has just been this stalwart in the area, and I look forward to chatting to Dee today, not only about the good, the bad and the ugly, but what motivates her to actually be this incredible beacon in her local community. So Dee, it is so awesome to be here, and I'm so blessed to have known you all these years as well. Just so much respect for what you do. Tell me about Dee's Cafe. Tell me a little bit about the journey.
So about 3.5 years ago, we teamed up with an amazing friend of mine, Bev Woolhouse, who invited me on this journey to support a charity. The charity is called the Pantry WA.
And they're just next door.
Yeah, they're actually literally next door in the same building.
Yep.
So to me, it was like a great opportunity to do something with a purpose behind, a business. It wasn't just about the money; it was about the journey and having a purpose in life that was greater than just opening up a door in a cafe. Yeah. So for us, it was great that I had about 20 years' experience in the hospitality industry, and during that time, if you would have told me where I am now, I would have never imagined that it would lead me to doing these. All the times that I served and waited and did, all sorts of events, it equipped me for a time like this.
Yeah. And it's hard yards. People don't realise these things don't just happen overnight. And I mean, you've lived this.
Yes.
You've seen this. Tell me a little bit about how, obviously you've got the involvement with Pantry, but with the cafe, so you were running a catering business, which you still do, I believe. So you're kind of running the two businesses together. Why the cafe? What's the hope with Dee's Cafe? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so for me, I think personally, I was born in Romania, and our culture, food brings us together. Yes. So you get food together, it's a time for celebration, it's a time that you can host an event and make people feel amazing. So for me, the joy is, I love serving people. I love having people around, and like when you give them, great coffee and you cater for an event, and you just want to see the result where people feel like, hey, it's about the experience. I want to go back. I was made, to feel like royalty. Yes. And I think for us, it's just creating that environment where people feel like there's something different. From a very young age, my dad would say and my mom would say, have that spirit of excellence in all that you do. And I think, from the time that people walk through our cafe, I wanted them to experience that spirit of excellence, how we greet them, how we serve them, how we rectify, any issues that we may have. Yeah. So for us, it was an opportunity, for me personally, my joy and my gift, I think, from raised in a home full of food, and everything has to be made with abundance. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I was raised in, The food is something that we say, thank you for being our host, thank you for coming, to our home. So it's our way of reaching out to other people. So that was our main sort of passion.
So obviously you're very passionate about what you do. That comes through, and that spirit of excellence, or just doing things really, really well. I must say, even visiting so many different businesses, so many different organisations, it is something that's lacking. And of course, we know that there are different things that motivate people. But as a business owner, can I ask you, what's some of the good, the bad, the ugly, from what you've seen? I mean, what for you would make a big difference as far as, maybe cutting some red tape for business owners? What are some of the biggest challenges you see at the moment for business owners?
We opened up our doors right when COVID hit. So it was, we took that leap of faith and trusted that God will open these doors for us, that we can, fulfill our dream. Yeah. For me, I think financially we're worried about how we're going to be able to cope with a price increase. Everything is going up. Expenses, taxes, and, your rent going up constantly. So for us, that was a big concern. I've never done a traditional business, but I've worked in other businesses. I've managed other, places where I've been. But from a business perspective, is managing my staff. You're constantly training people, and I think I had to be prepared to invest in people. I had to be prepared to to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think for me, it's learning and failing forward, so to speak. And you're constantly reinventing yourself. You know, I feel like I've reached a point where I think, great, now I feel like I need to reinvent myself again.
But isn't that a big strength? It's for business owners to keep changing and adapting. You still have that core of what motivates you. You still have that heart of excellence. But it's true, there has to be, I guess, not only in policy and law, but there needs to be capacity for businesses to go through change and easily. And I know COVID hit a lot of businesses so hard. And it's great to see that pretty much this is thriving now. Is there something that stands out as far as something that would make it easier for you as a business owner? Something that can be changed, something that can be improved? What comes to mind?
Wow, taxes.
I know.
I think for me, from a business perspective, I think that, you know, especially as a cafe, the expense of running a business, and, you know, and we're seeing this from our suppliers. They're constantly, every probably 6 months, I've had price increase. You know, and I think sometimes, you know, we can only increase our food or our, you know, our coffee prices only so much.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting that, because all the expense, you know, that we're adding onto our products is passed on to the customer. So our customers are struggling at the moment. And not only that, we actually see it through the charity. You know, people are doing it so tough. That's why they're lining up there. And a lot of our customers are saying, you know, we'll probably end up queuing up to get, you know, assistance with food. So I think it's the, you know, the constant increase in prices, because it's global. Everybody's in the same boat at the end of the day. So we're trying to find out different creative ways that we can still not increase our price to the point where people are not going to come back. And we're constantly trying to train our staff to be more effective, you know, in so many different ways.
And I think that's the key, like payroll tax. I mean, I've spoken to so many businesses in the area who keep saying to me it is so cumbersome for a small, medium business to have a payroll tax component. And I mean, even just having some incentives or something that makes it a bit easier as businesses maybe transition into that next phase to go, look, there's a bit of leeway there, there's a bit of opportunity to go, can we give them 6 months to just transition into a next phase? And with staffing as well, we know that that's an issue everywhere. So even if there's maybe a bit more incentives around how do we engage and get more staff? How do we make it really enticing for them to work in something like hospitality as well? And I know that's a trick as well, to try and get staff in. Considering all of this, what is probably one of the main things that motivate you, Dee?
For me personally, I'm probably going to get teary on it, but it's God's kingdom. I think as Christian values and what we were, you know, our prayer and our thoughts was to have a place where we can be light, we can be a business with a difference. I think in the way that we walk, talk, serve, everything that we want to represent God's kingdom. You know, for me, it's having bring some joy to people's lives. I think that's my reward. Honestly, when I see that we are building a community, we're reaching out, not the people just buying our food or services, but also that we're actually contributing to a greater cause. So for me, it's having a purpose. It's not just about the money, it's about serving our community. I feel like, hey, I've done my little part here. We can't change the world, but if we can change where we are, absolutely. And we teamed up with so many beautiful businesses that I can't thank the businesses that have come through our cafe, heard about our vision, heard about our story, and they want to invest, you know, with their time. You know, they come and donate our food, they either buy coffee through or food through our catering services.
Obviously for us, you know, as a Christian political party, that's the foundation. But we know that there is a different motivation to why Christians do what they do. And by no means are we perfect. I mean, my goodness, we're not saying that at all. But one of the things I've loved about this area is everyone I've spoken to, everybody knows that this place builds community. And so, you know, there's something different about when we serve others, when we go, hang on, there is such a greater purpose in what we're doing. Yes, we're here to build a business, but how do we actually serve those around us? And so that's legacy. And just finally, Dee, if I can ask you, what would be your hope for WA? When you're sort of thinking into next year, obviously we've got elections coming up, but beyond that, what is your hope for WA?
I think for me, as a business owner, but also as a, I've got a family there, I've got, 2 kids, and we should be able to demonstrate our actions and our beliefs where we work, but also on godly values. Everything that we build, I truly believe we build that on godly values, and we bring that into our homes, into our businesses, serving each other. That's been my foundation my whole life, and I've seen God's blessing of our life, of our community.
Seeing that you've got all this experience, I'd love to hear what is sort of a piece of advice or something that you can give to people that are looking at not only starting their business but growing a business. Share some of that wisdom with us.
I truly believe when you have a vision, and I knew somebody said to me, what are you naturally gifted at? What naturally comes, joyful to you, easy to you? And I knew it was connecting with people. I wanted to help other people in need. I wanted to serve other people, and I wanted to interact and build a community. And I thought this had ticked all the boxes for me. And for me, it was having that vision that drives me. I can actually see it. Honestly, every morning I get up and I see people coming to the doors. Even now, I could just see the cafe being filled with people getting connected. This whole journey has transformed us.
Do you know, one of the biggest things that I so admired about you is how you served people during COVID, and just that whole period where people were feeling quite disconnected and they were feeling so isolated. That was for me such an incredible turning point where you just went, we're here to serve everybody, we're here to maintain community. And I think so many of the businesses who had that approach to their community, to their business, are the ones that actually ended up thriving, even post-COVID. So there's a lesson in that, I think, for everybody as well, right? Well, people are important. People are the most important, and they remember how you make them feel. So obviously looking around at these cafes, I never see it not busy because of what you carry and who you are. So I just thank you for being such a beacon here, Dee. And I know that, this is going to be around for a while still. So,
It's been a pleasure and my honour to be able to share some thoughts and ideas, and having this time with you, it's been a blessing. And you have brought so much value to my business, and all the connections that you've sent our way, we can't thank you enough.